You're excellent at what you do, but you are not making enough money to reflect that. I know this because I've sat across hundreds of entrepreneurs in my freedom audits, in classrooms here at Gonzaga, in rooms full of founders, and at some point you find yourself in this position as an owner. Today I'm going to tell you something that might actually feel like a relief to hear. It is not your price or the economy that we're in right now. People are still spending. Certain people are still spending despite high inflation. And it's not that you're not good enough or maybe you don't have an offer that's differentiated. It's that your offer is in fact invisible. But the great news about that is that this is completely fixable and we can fix it really quick. Hey, I'm Jenny Stuchel, 3 times founder, and I teach business entrepreneurship here at Gonzaga University. I'm the creator of the Freedom Funnels Cohort, a program that helps service providers build automated sales ecosystems so they can work less, earn more, and be home when it matters. This video is part of one of a 4-part series called the Revenue Leak Analysis. There is a free workbook that goes with all 4 videos, and the link is in the description and the comments below. This is the first video, but I want you to grab it right now, open it while you're listening here today, and we're gonna work through it together because this isn't just a watch it and forget kind of video. This is a do the work and change something video. I'm always trying to equip you with new tools and knowledge so that you can be more profitable in your business in less time. So let's go. Okay, I have a story for you. It's Saturday morning in June, and I'm standing behind this folding table at a local farmer's market, and I have 60 of my beeswax candles lined up. My company is called Designated Wellness. This is my candle label, and I had driven 40 minutes just to be at this farmer's market. I had a cute sign, I was ready to sell, and I could feel the cool morning air on my skin. I wanted the coffee I could smell from the vendor next to me, and I could hear the sound of footsteps starting to come in on the gravel as the shoppers started to move and walk through the market. A woman stops. She picks up a candle, she smells it, she sets it down and walks away. And then another woman, same thing. Then a man picks it up, smells it, turns it over, looks at the label, nods that he's kind of impressed. We have some banter and small talk, and then he sets it down and walks away. And I watched this happen 15 times before my first sale. 15 times. They loved candles, they told me, but I had failed to answer 3 questions in the time they were standing there. What is this exactly? Is it for someone like me? And is it worth what she's charging? What's the differentiator? I had assumed the product label emits negative ions to purify the air, which is very unique. I thought it would speak for itself, and it didn't, obviously. So I took a break, I got a coffee that I was craving earlier, and I gave myself a little pep talk that just turned into excuses. I told myself, this is the economy, it's the wrong crowd, the wrong market, the wrong day. People just weren't spending. If you've sold a product at a farmer's market before, you know this. And you know what's funny about the story is I tell it now, and female entrepreneurs in my program nod immediately because they recognize that feeling, the feeling of showing up, doing the work, putting something genuinely great out into the world. You've got this great product, but people just walk past it. And that market moment taught me the single most important lesson of my marketing and business career. The lesson I've since verified in hundreds of audit calls with founders, in academic research, and years of watching entrepreneurs build and struggle to rebuild. And so, I did sell out within 2 hours after I came back from my coffee break, and I made this change. But your offer might be excellent, no matter how good it is. If your buyer can't immediately answer those 3 questions in the time it takes them to scroll past your content online or land at your website or at your booth or sit across from you in a discovery call, they are going to leave. And it's not because they don't want what you have to offer, but because confusion is a decision. And confusion always decides, not today. I call this the invisible offer problem. And here is what I want you to understand before we go into anything further. This is not a branding problem. It's not a confidence problem. It is absolutely not a price problem. It's just a clarity problem. And clarity is engineered. It's extremely strategic, yet so simple. So think about it like this. Imagine you're driving down a highway at night. There's a restaurant exit coming up. The sign is there technically, but the letters are faded. The backlight is out. You can almost make out what the sign says, but just not quite. Do you take the exit? No, you keep driving. Yeah, you're hungry, but in the time you had to make the decision, you couldn't read the sign. You're not trying to find yourself in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the night, by yourself maybe. Your offer is that sign. And right now, for a lot of us, the backlight is out. Here's the data behind this. Research from Entrepreneurship Magazine found that 57, or I guess Entrepreneur Magazine, found that 50% of service-based entrepreneurs cannot explain their offer in one sentence. That's 57%. And not because you're not smart, it's just because, and it's not because the offer isn't good, but it's just because you're too close to it. When you know everything about what you do, it becomes almost impossible to explain it simply. You skip the part where you make it obvious. You assume the person in front of you already understands what you mean, what you provide, the result that you give, but they don't. And I see this every semester with my students when we get to our final business pitch presentations. There is a second layer to this that most people miss entirely. It's not just your offer language, it's the entire promotional mix. So your reel says one thing, your email says something slightly different, your sales page uses completely different language or keywords, your ad is talking to a version of your ideal client that doesn't match any of the others, and your buyer is encountering you not once, but 8 to 12 times before they make a decision in totally different ways. That's 2026 buyer behavior. The old 7 touches rule is dead. It's 8 to 12 meaningful touch points now before they're going to trust you enough to purchase. If every touch point sounds slightly different, if every piece of content is written for a different version of your ideal client, they can't build trust with you. They can't build trust with a moving target. So here's the fix. I want you to actually stop and do this while we walk through it together. So open that workbook that I linked below in this video. Open it to leak number 1, and let's do this just right now. I call it the transformation statement. 1 sentence, 4 pieces. This is where clarity starts. So it's I help who achieve specific result in time frame through method. Let me break down each piece because most founders get at least one of them wrong, and the wrong piece is usually the one that's killing your conversions. So number 1, who? Not female entrepreneurs, too broad. The person reading that feels nothing. I want you to think female service providers who already show up consistently but can't figure out why their income doesn't reflect their effort, right? Do you feel the difference? When someone reads that and thinks, wait, that's literally me, that's the moment sales begins. So specific result. Not grow their business, that means nothing to anybody. We want a real measurable result. Get booked out in 30 days or replace a part-time income in 90 days. Cut your working hours in half without cutting your revenue. Think about what your client's life actually looks like after working with you, that transformation. What is different? I want you to say that. And then time frame, optional but super powerful, even a range of like 8 to 12 weeks or in a 90-day cycle or in 10 minutes, you'll learn this one skill. It signals that you have a process, that this isn't just vague coaching or vague knowledge, it's a system, and there's a beginning and an end. So then there's your method. This is your differentiator, your mechanism. So for me, it's through my Freedom Funnels program, through my one-to-one immersive, design process, through weekly strategy sessions and a custom growth roadmap. Think about the method like the vehicle. The result is the destination, but your method is how you get there. And when you name the vehicle, when you give it a name, a shape, something specific, people don't just trust the destination, right? They are going to trust the ride. So I want you to write your transformation statement down. Pause this video if you need to. Again, download that workbook. And now 2 more pieces. These are what really separate clear offers apart. So number 1, this is for you if. List 3 to 5 specific traits of your ideal client. The more specific, the better. This is where the right person leans in all the way and she thinks you're talking to me. And then the second piece is this is not for you if. I know this one feels terrifying. It is not. It's actually the most trust-building thing you can put on your sales page or in your emails when you name who you're not for. When you have enough confidence to say this isn't for anyone, the people in it immediately trust you more. It signals that you know exactly what you do, that you're not, desperate for every single sale. Okay, I had a client once who was afraid to add that section to her sales page. She said, what if I lose someone? I said, you're not losing a client. You're saving yourself 45 minutes on a discovery call that was never going to convert anyways. So put those 3 things, transformation statement, for you if, not for you if, everywhere. Your bio, your website, your next email, every single place a buyer encounters you. When every touch point says the same thing with the same voice and the same intention, you stop being a moving target.